The 15-minute cities is something that the WEF has created called C40, and it's called C40 cities. I would urge you to certainly look on the internet about it. Basically, you won't be able to drive a petrol or diesel car anymore. You'll have to buy electric. If you want food, you will get a calorie-controlled system sent to you by text saying, this is what you can eat today. This is what you can have today. If you violate any of these things, they'll freeze your bank account. That is the next step. These are stages in which they're going to implement this stuff. And this was signed up by the WEF, and the WEF has signed up with our mayor in London as the chair. And he has gone around the world to communicate this C40 to all of the countries in the world. And most of the countries are looking at adopting it. Now, I am going to abolish it. It is a hopeless position. We are going to be in an open prison, or shall we say a COVID, for the rest of our lives. We will not be able to work unless it's in our 15-minute city. It's diabolical. It's not right. This is not the right thing. And it's been hidden from the public. No one's talking about it.
Welcome to the Smart City Revolution panel. We're going to discuss a very exciting topic, which is how we're going to live our lives and how we're going to work in the cities of the future.
The 15-minute cities that everyone is talking about now is the Great Reset's trendy new name for open-air prison camps. The idea is to corral everyone into neighborhoods small enough to walk from one end to the other in 15 minutes, so that you'll never, ever have to leave.
Is your name listed as a stakeholder of any of the redevelopment plans regarding a smart city?
So I'm sorry, but I asked for testimony pursuant to the agenda, and there's nothing on the agenda about smart cities. And if we could also refrain from yelling.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'll provide clarification. Smart cities is everything about housing.
I do not consent to AI control. I do not consent to smart cities.
Excuse me. Okay, I appreciate your comments again. I do really need to stick to the items on the agenda.
You know what? Your agenda can kiss my ass.
While the wildfires have taken lives, there's growing concern developers are now trying to take the land.
We know very well that you guys, as the third largest stakeholders, the state, do want that land and can take it when you deem it a natural disaster.
Funny how all the common people were taken out.
Due to current events, I figured now would be a great time to tell you guys all about Smart LA 2028. Smart LA 2028 was a plan released in 2019 to redefine and restructure Los Angeles in time for the 2028 Olympics. Smart LA 2028 has many key points, one primarily being the transportation infrastructure to go for a car-free Olympics. Don't just take it from me, however, take it from Ted Ross, the Chief Information Officer of LA.
As a 3-time United States Digital City Award winner, the City of Los Angeles has been investing in the infrastructure, the apps, and the data tools to be a globally recognized smart city. But as technology evolves, so our smart city must evolve too. That's why we have developed our Los Angeles Smart City Strategy, known as Smart LA 2028. Check it out here.
Key points that they're looking to improve are infrastructure and community engagement, which may be hard since there's no community anymore. Some constraints on this project are funding and budget constraints because infrastructure is very important and very expensive. And piggybacking off that, another hurdle is the aging infrastructure. Much of LA's infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and utility grids, were built decades ago and requires significant upgrades or replacement. They're going to have to replace a lot now. With that comes retrofitting challenges. Adapting existing systems to modern standards is often more complicated and costly than building new infrastructure. How about that? It would be cheaper for them to just build new infrastructure instead of repair and fix the old. Traffic congestion. A lot of people living in LA means a lot of traffic. I guess it's kind of weird that a lot of people won't be living in LA now. Environmental concerns, because a lot of residents mean high carbon emissions from cars and high water usage, which we know LA is already struggling with the water usage because the firefighters said that there's no water to put out the fires right now. The hydrants are running dry. And as we know, wildfires are a big environmental concern. Regulatory and bureaucratic hurdles are a big concern as well because, it's going to be hard getting things approved when there's so many people living and working in LA. And stakeholder coordination. But I guess it's really not going to be that hard to convince people to fix a city that no longer exists. You're just building from the ground up, right? It's hard to get equity and public support because of gentrification concerns. Infrastructure improvements can lead to displacement in lower income communities, creating opposition to certain projects. But I guess there's not going to be much opposition now. And the digital divide. Technological integration, because integrating smart sensors to existing infrastructure is very complex. But again, I guess there's now not much infrastructure to have to work with. And public transit challenges, because with everybody living in LA, converting everybody to public transit was an uphill battle. And project timelines were under constraints because so many people live and work in LA. I guess it's lived and worked in LA. Now that you mention it, I'm actually pretty sure that Lahaina was going through the same thing and faced the same issues, right? What a coincidence.
The World Economic Forum's C40 Smart Cities initiative essentially outlines what critics are calling a dystopian future. Under the guise of sustainability, this program centralizes control over resources, allowing access to food, energy, and mobility to be revoked at the push of a button. Critics like Shyam Batra, a candidate for mayor of London, warn of a dystopian society where dissent is punished and compliance enforced through the suspension of vital services.
Basically, you won't be able to drive a petrol or diesel car anymore. If you want food, you will get a calorie-controlled system sent to you by text saying, this is what you can eat today. If you violate any of these things, they'll freeze your bank account. We are going to be in an open prison.
Features include global digital IDs assigned at birth, 15-minute cities restricting residents to localized zones and limiting movement, services such as food rations and transportation distributed digitally, raising fears of a social credit system to monitor and control behavior, dissenting opinions, social media posts, non-compliance with policies, or even hypothetical health crises could trigger punitive measures. The initiative is already active in London with plans to expand globally under agenda. So far, nearly 200 nations have joined this initiative.
Whoa.
Attention, you have exceeded your monthly carbon credit allowance. All non-essential energy services have been temporarily suspended. To restore power and ensure continued vehicle functionality, please remit payment to the Global Sustainability Compliance Authority within 24 hours. Failure to comply will result in extended service interruptions. Thank you for your cooperation in building a greener future.